Welcome to this explainer. Today we're getting into something absolutely wild. We're exploring the legendary, sweeping career of Lionel Messi. But listen, we aren't just looking back at history here. We are looking at something happening right now. We're focusing on his finale chapter. Because the jaw-dropping reality is that at 39 years old, a time when most legends have long since faded, Lionel Messi is back on football's biggest stage. It's a story of impossible odds, heartbreaking setbacks, and a dream that literally changed football forever.
So, let's just ask the obvious question. What if the perfect ending just wasn't the end? How does a player whose storybook career supposedly had the ultimate fairy tale wrap-up in Qatar back in 2022 suddenly find himself gearing up for yet another World Cup final in 2026? Most people would have taken that incredible Qatar victory and happily written off into the sunset, right? But what if I told you the greatest player in history almost never even made it to his first pitch, let alone his ultimate finale? That's what we're exploring today, how a legend manages to rewrite an ending that was already written perfectly.
Against all expectations, Messi just led Argentina through another completely unforgettable World Cup campaign. Picture the scene. It's the 2026 semifinal against England. Argentina is trailing. The pressure is just unimaginable. And then, the 39-year-old captain steps up. But he doesn't even do it with goals. Instead, he drops two absolutely brilliant assists that orchestrate this massive, incredible comeback. That performance sent Argentina straight to the 2026 FIFA World Cup Final. It's an impossible comeback, for sure. But to really wrap our heads around this current miracle, we have to look backwards.
Section 1. Defying the impossible odds.
To understand this current finale chapter, we really need to realize that defying impossible odds is exactly what Lionel Messi has done since day one. Born in 1987 in Rosario, Argentina, he came from a super humble working-class family. His dad worked in a steel factory, his mom had a manufacturing job. And there were no early signs that this quiet little boy would become a global icon, except for the fact that he just never wanted to stop playing football. Every empty lot became a stadium for him. But then, at age 11, his family gets some devastating news. He was diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency. It slowed his physical development, and the treatment meant these regular, highly expensive hormone injections that local clubs actually hesitated to pay for. Then comes FC Barcelona's life-changing gamble. They offered to support his medical treatment and moved him all the way to Spain. And man, it was incredibly hard. He missed home, he missed his friends, and had to adapt to a totally new country and language. But he took that challenge and fueled his game with it, eventually making his incredible first-team debut in 2004 at just 17 years old.
And even before he made it to Spain, people just knew. From the locals back in Rosario, all the way to global superstars like Ronaldinho, they saw it. When Messi was just a kid playing in the streets, his close control and his balance made him look entirely different from the older kids around him. People would just stop, watch, and say, "This kid has something special." In fact, when he debuted at Barcelona, Ronaldinho welcomed him and publicly predicted that Messi would become even greater than himself. And honestly, anyone who saw his effortless dribbling, his amazing vision, and those thrilling goals, they knew that prediction was absolutely going to shatter records.
Section 2. Pushing boundaries with Ronaldo.
As Messi's star ascended and his vision amazed the world, he entered a defining era. Once he established himself at Barcelona, climbing rapidly through the famous La Masia academy, another superstar was emerging at the exact same time. For over a decade, the football world witnessed what is easily one of the greatest rivalries in sports history between Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Every single season was a battle. Every trophy mattered. Every Ballon d'Or sparked massive global debates. But here's the crucial takeaway. Rather than detracting from one another or holding each other back, they mutually pushed each other to completely extraordinary, record-breaking levels in every single match. Together, they didn't just play football, they redefined greatness itself.
Section 3. Heartbreak and Ultimate Redemption.
But here is where the story takes a painful turn. While club success with Barcelona came really easily, his journey with the national team was a radically different story. It was a grueling battle of intense criticism and devastating losses. Some people even started to question whether Messi could ever truly lead his country to glory after Argentina lost several major finals. The intense disappointment became so heavy that Messi actually, briefly, announced his retirement from international football. But giving up was never part of his story, so he comes back, and everything ultimately changes in 2021 when Argentina defeats Brazil to win the Copa America. Years of pain finally turned into pure emotional joy as he lifted his first major international trophy, which perfectly set the stage for securing his ultimate dream in Qatar.
Section 4.
The perfect World Cup ending.
Qatar 2022 was arguably one of the greatest individual tournament performances we have ever seen. Messi didn't just participate, he inspired Argentina throughout the entire competition, capping it off in an unforgettable final match against France where he scored twice. After a highly dramatic penalty shootout, Argentina emerged as world champions, and Messi finally lifted the one trophy that had always escaped him. Lifting that World Cup was universally seen as the perfect ending. His career, packed with countless league titles, Champions League trophies, and domestic cups, finally felt complete. But his greatest achievement is what this moment means for all of us off the pitch. It's a powerful reminder that greatness doesn't begin with perfect circumstances. Whether you're facing impossible odds or just pursuing a lifelong dream, sometimes it just begins with having the courage to keep chasing it.
Section 5. One last final chapter.
Most legends fade into history after a moment like Qatar. They take their trophy and they step out of the spotlight. But Lionel Messi absolutely refused to let that be the end. He refused to fade with time. This 39-year-old kid from Rosario is back on the biggest stage for a third time because he wanted to author his own ultimate finale chapter, entirely on his own terms. He came back for one last mission, one last dance. We already talked about how he orchestrated that incredible comeback against England in the semi-final with those 2 clutch assists, and now he is just one single match away from making history all over again in 2026.
So we've traced his whole path, from a little boy playing in the streets of Rosario, overcoming a devastating medical diagnosis, completely redefining the sport alongside Ronaldo, and conquering his international heartbreak. No matter what happens next, his legacy is deeply secured among football's absolute greatest legends, but it leaves us with one incredibly thrilling thought to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. Will this impossible, magnificent journey actually end with him lifting that golden trophy just one final time?